Good afternoon, YouTube, and thank you for being patient. But we are finally going to get to the end of UFC 264. I apologize for the surroundings. I am relegated to the weight room. Don't worry, I won't be lifting any weights. I haven't done that for quite some time. Well, well over a year, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah. So we need to finish up 264. I'm going to leave out the Sean O'Malley fight. I feel like that's a different topic, a different discussion, and I'm not going to really attach that to the pay-per-view card. I realize I didn't cover it in any of the other videos. I'm not going to cover it now because I think that's a whole different ball of wax that we'll get into. But good on Sean O'Malley. We really need to get into Gilbert Burns, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Co-main event, and man, could I have been any more wrong about what happened? No. So, where do we go? I mean, I thought that Wonderboy's length, his ability to set up opponents, and his takedown defense would keep him upright. But man, Gilbert Burns. Look, the Wonderboy hasn't lost much in the UFC. Now this is 3 losses, and well, I believe there's 4, but of the 3 of the 4, it's because he has not been able to get back to his feet, and his get up ability is very good. So again, good on Gilbert Burns. The only 2 guys to hold him down like that are Tyron Woodley, did it twice and beat him twice. And now Gilbert Burns, all 3 of those fights went to distance, went decision. Wait a minute. I feel like one of the Tyron fights, it's close to being finished maybe, but I'm pretty sure they all went to the distance. So anyway, if Wonderboy can't stay on his feet, he's getting beat. Again, I thought his get up ability would have done him well in this fight. It didn't. So Wonderboy still has a few holes to shore up in his game. But I don't want to take anything away from Wonderboy. He is still one of the top competitors in that division. So what did we find out about Gilbert Burns in this performance? Well, as you know from previous videos, I thought I thought Gilbert Burns is very high level. After this performance, I think he's even a notch higher than I thought. Like, if we look at this guy's credentials, his BJJ credentials alone are amazing. Just go look up what this guy's done in that world of combat sports. Then we come over to the MMA side and see that, I don't want to... his striking is... it's pretty good for MMA. I'll say that. And I think the guy proved to me he's a little bit more high level than I thought. I think he's just one rung away. He is the true contender to Kara Usman. And as I said previously, he was very close to beating Kara Usman. He just got a little excited, a little over anxious, and he rushed in where he should have taken his time. I am sure he has learned that lesson. I think we even discussed that after, maybe not after that pay-per-view. Doesn't matter. I just think Gilbert Burns' stock rose significantly. So no matter what happens with this next fight with Kara Usman, if he comes out the winner, which is up in the air, I think Colby Covington actually puts up he's a good challenge for Kara Usman. So I don't think that's a guarantee like a lot of people seem to think here recently. So let's just say he survives that. Gilbert Burns he cemented his title shot rematch, I believe. So good on him. All right, let's move forward to Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. How do we start this? All right. I think the first round could have been a 10-8 round. It was that one-sided. Dustin, he controlled and dominated everywhere. On the feet, on the cage, on the ground. I also thought that Dustin really didn't throw that many leg kicks. I think he had it in his head like he was going to come in here and show people what the real deal was. So I just didn't see him throwing a lot or setting that up a lot. You know, and Conor, I'll say this, that man was ready to go. I don't know that I've ever seen him more ready to fight. That guy was ready to go. So good on both of them for that. But had that fight continued and gone any other length of time, we know what was going to happen. Dustin was going to dominate that fight moving forward, even more than he already had. Now, let's get to the break. The break, as we know, occurred when Conor put pressure on the leg and was pivoting to throw a power punch. So that's eventually how the break completed. We now know that through his coaching and through himself, they did have to see a specialist about a month out, which can only tell us that there was something wrong there. Now, do I think that Conor McGregor walked in this fight with a hairline fracture in his ankle? No, I don't. I'm going to tell you what I think happened. If you've ever dealt with shin splints, I dealt with these from jumping rope when I got to about 15 minutes at a time. I got 5 minutes at a time. I'd do 3 rounds with a 60-second break in between, but I could do 15 minutes. But I found once I broke that 10, 12-minute barrier, my shins bothered me a lot, and it was something that went on for a while. I finally researched it. Shin splints was what I was dealing with. Now, what are shin splints? They are, I don't know how many, but I'm just going to say a lot of tiny microscopic fractures in your shin bone. That's why it's so uncomfortable. I believe that's what Conor McGregor was dealing with what amounts to shin splints. So for any of this talk that, if Conor had this injury, he shouldn't have fought, that's just not the case. No fighter's fighting at 100% fight night, first of all. If they are, they're extremely lucky. And listen, if a fighter said, I'm calling off this fight, I'm backing out due to shin splints, I don't think so. I don't think that's flying with anybody. So, did Conor McGregor walk in that fight with a broken leg? No. I think he had thousands, probably tens of thousands of micro fractures. And then he came into that fight throwing his leg like a baseball bat. Poirier as well. So he took a couple leg kicks. He gave a couple. And, we've been seeing this it's been enough for me. I'm just getting sick of seeing it, the broken leg thing. It is so disgusting. One side thought real quick, like, Conor McGregor, dude, is what a man's game. Like, that guy is sitting there in the ring, moving his legs so the doctors can see that it's broken and what the severity is. Not making a sound. Not, oh, yep, there it is. Yeah, check that out. Blah, blah, blah. Cursing at Poirier. Like, that's tough. That's toughness, man. So, by the way, Conor says he'll be back in a year, and he coming for that fight. So, it is not over between him and Dustin. I assure you that. I don't believe it is, and neither does Dustin from his post-fight. Listen, I thought Dustin was going to win the first fight at 145 pounds. 145 pounds was not a good division for Dustin. He was on a good win streak before he met Conor. All that happened. At 155, I just don't think Conor's beating Dustin. Dustin's carries a little bit more mass. He's a little bit bigger. Dustin actually asked for the fight at 170. Conor wouldn't do it. 2 reasons. I think that would have given Poirier a clear advantage, and McGregor wanted that title shot after his victory, which he didn't get. So look, I'm kind of running on a little bit. Don't want to make this too long, but there's still more to talk about. So we got to keep going. Before UFC 264, I think I see a lot of common mistakes, right? And some of those common mistakes, inevitably, one of the most mistakes, arm in guillotine choke and standard guillotine choke. They're never done correctly. Either there's the rear naked choke or the defense for the rear naked choke, for that matter. And I thought, I should do a video on those 3 chokes before UFC 264. And then I thought, nah, nobody's going for that at UFC 264. And Conor McGregor jumps guard, tries to put Dustin in a guillotine, which that's Dustin's best submission move. Dude, this fight was crazy. The whole night was crazy. I really regret not putting out that video, but hey, be on the lookout for that sometime in the future when I find a warm cadaver that will let me put them in all kinds of chokeholds. I will be putting that out, but let me get back to it. Yeah, Conor jumps guard for that guillotine. Crazy. Dustin immediately hops over the body. So, listen, that guillotine was not going to happen. I've heard some talk about toes in the fence, which is illegal, to be fair. You can't have your toes in the fence and you can't have your fingers in the fence. That is a rule. But that choke wasn't happening. He had already cleared to the other side of the body. Just wasn't happening. So, and again, like Conor didn't come in here with a broken leg. And it seems like that rubber match is not the end of this. I wouldn't guess. So, I don't believe the story ends. I believe it will continue, right? It will go a little longer for Poirier and McGregor. Yeah, that's about it, I think, right? UFC 264, man. I enjoyed this card very much. And yeah, it was a fun watch, man, to be honest with you. So again, good on the matchmakers, good on all the fighters, good on every single one of them. They all came and did their job like they were supposed to, man. A great night with a couple of hiccups, but other than that, stellar night. Let me leave you with this interesting fact. After UFC 264, top 5 pay-per-views, UFC pay-per-views of all time, all 5 of them have Conor McGregor in them. That is crazy talk. Conor McGregor's a cash cow, y'all. No doubt about it. All right, that's it. Yeah, going to wrap this up. I apologize for the delay. As always, thank you for listening. Be good. Be safe. Boom.